Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Blind. Our investigation of what is happening here at the Scholasticate continues with Briardian. Sounds like he didn't make much progress in the previous part of the investigation he was doing, but we'll see. A divine reckoning. Ernie appears to be lost in thought. If it isn't my trusted associate, back from the field. As you will doubtless have seen for yourself, change is sweeping through Ishgard, and the veil which once threatened to smother the hearts and minds of our people is slowly but surely being lifted. 'Tis as if our fair city has been born anew. It's in large part thanks to you. Which is not to say our problems have come to an end. No. The silent struggle between the lowborn and highborn goes on, growing more fractious by the day. I've come to believe that someone somewhere is fanning the flames of hatred to further their own ends. And I'm convinced, now more than ever, that Ulla's sudden disappearance, along that of Volume 11 of the Articles of Hellenic Polity, is no mere coincidence. Both she and it, after all, were passionate advocates of equality among men. As to who is responsible and what their true intentions might be, I cannot say. Ascertaining these things will no doubt require that we first find the missing girl, and at this moment, our best hope of learning her whereabouts may rest on discovering the fate of the book. As such, I shall continue searching for any clue which might lead us to the missing tome. In the meantime, I ask that you trouble the students for any information they might have on Ulla. Failing that, find out if they have witnessed any unusual occurrences around the Scholasticate. Anything at all. Well then, let us be about it. Alright. He's off to go look for information. Okay. Welcome back. Arctic. Pray allow me to show inside. Thanks. Here's people. Lassie has been so distracted lately. I'm lucky if I can get a simple good morning from her. Ever since Ola left, she's been rushing about the city like a mad woman, looking for any information she can on the girl. She might have an excuse to talk to Timothy. A lot of people. Check. The only really unexpected change I've seen of late is in his attitude towards Crampon. He really seems to have warmed to him. Why, he even went as far as to initiate a conversation the other day. He spoke to me, 'tis true, but 'tis not out of fondness. He really hates me very slightly less than he values Ulla's safe return. Fair enough. One of the seniors told me she'd been diagnosed with something called lung rot, and she's too weak to attend any of her classes. Thinking back, I did hear her coughing from time to time. I had no idea it was anything so serious. Well, it probably wasn't, so. Lessons of Volume 11 seemed to resonate deeply with Ulla. She would oft stay up into the small hours reading and rereading them. Mayhap they spurred her to steal away in the night and take up with the revolutionaries. Come on. How many times must I say this? Ulla was not coerced into leaving, nor was she abducted, nor did she die from a fictitious disease. She quit the Scholasticate of her own free will for reasons known only to her and the Fury. Really, this is so difficult to understand. Welcome back, Masterson. What a pleasant surprise it is to see you. How might I be of service to you to this day? Any information at all? Timothy, in the wake of Ulla's withdrawal, he and I have devoted their ever-waking moment to the task of uncovering her whereabouts. They're quite adamant that the girl must be found and persuaded to resume her studies here. As a matter of fact, they approached me earlier today to beg leave to travel to Gorgange Mills, claiming that a trip there would yield the information they needed to accomplish their aim. No sooner had I granted them their request, they rushed off. Such compassion and eagerness to serve others is a rarity even among the clergy. I cannot tell you how proud I am of what fine young men they've become. They went out to Griffith's Western Highlands. All over here. We will have to fly all the way there, that's fine. At least we can fly all the way there. We got that going for us. Midgard's over. Let's go. Straight into a building. Yeah. Oh, cool. Easy enough. What would they be doing at Gorgange Mills? Maybe this was a spot. Look this way? Yep. There's some cultist activity here previously. We'll see. It's definitely out of the way. So if this was a hiding spot for kidnappers or something of that nature, maybe a reasonable spot for it, I suppose. And here. And oh, this went to a grave. Also an option. Artek, is it really you? That we should be reunited thus amid the snowy peaks of Kurthus? Why, it's nothing short of a miracle. Since the hand of the divine at work, Helena has answered our prayers. Theo, Artek has no idea what you're talking about. By all means explain, but do it slowly and from the beginning. Yes, please. My apologies. Excitement got the better of me. Artek? This is the resting place of Father Tressoin, the man who found room in his heart to do for 2 waifs from the street, granting them the opportunity to rise above their station in life. Do you perchance recall the book that was stolen from Theo and burned by that lost soul we once thought of as a brother? It was one of the last mementos we had of the man. Now all that's left to remind us of him is this place. Indeed, we often come back here to seek solace and guidance in his blessed presence. Today our purpose is more practical. The search for Ola at an impasse, we had hoped he might grant us inspiration. And that is why I believe our meeting with you here in this hour of need is a sign from above, the work of Father Tressoin himself. I take from this that we are not meant to bear this burden alone, that the obstacles we face can only be surmounted by working in concert with others. While his disappearance has thrown the Sklisket into turmoil, and the long-simmering mistrust between those of noble and ignoble birth has boiled over into outright hatred. Now more than ever, we must seek to join hands with like-minded souls who understand that this mouse will only serve to sow further discord. Like-minded souls such as you. Alright. I'm reminded of words of the volume 11 of the Articles of Hellenic Polity. Of the Furies' love will all men receive, and by the balance of her spear, will all be set free. We must strive to love our neighbors, even as we love ourselves, just as Helena does. To do otherwise is to defy her will. Yes, and while we will surely be rewarded for our tolerance, the highborn bastards who would sooner pretend the passage doesn't exist won't be so lucky. Why, they may even find themselves on the receiving end of her spear for everything they've put us through. Bah. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? We still haven't found a single clue as to Ola's whereabouts. Fear not, Lamb. With Artik at our sign, I have faith we shall find her, and that she will soon retake her rightful place in the hallowed halls of St. Enlim's Sklisket. I hope you're right. At any rate, we've done what we came to do, so there's no point in freezing our arses off out here. Till we meet again, Artik. Okay. And then they're just gonna head back. Return to the Sklisket Foundation. Okay. So yeah. Still really nothing in the way of actual leads or anything, so a work in progress here. Breaking before sending the schools to get. Yep. Enter. Information. Masterson, I trust you were able to find the Ascendant Lane. Yep. I see. Yes, the two of them have always shared a special bond with Father Toussaint. One that only seems to have grown stronger with his passing. It's encouraging to see that they've taken their lessons to heart and continue to work so fervently for the good of their fellow students. I fear, however, that a dark and treacherous path lies ahead of them. I only pray that when the time comes, they are ready for whatever challenges await. And I'm sure there will be challenges as we continue here. Heard it through the grapevine. Father Cetronos wears a troubled frown. Master Sin, just the man I was hoping to see. Sorry to say that a rather disturbing rumor has been circulating around the Scholastic of late. One just claims that Archimandum arranged for Ulla to be taken away. That the boy scorns those who favor different interpretations of the scriptures, I do not deny. But I labor to believe he would go so far. To engage in such conduct would risk not only his own position as prefect, the very honor of House Zamel, both of which mean a great deal to him. Regretfully, no one seems to know where these ridiculous rumors came from. They could have been concocted by anyone, for any number of reasons. In any event, with many still unsure what to make of Ulla's sudden withdrawal, these wild accusations have only served to deepen the divide between our seminarians. At this rate, I fear others may decide they no longer wish to remain at the Scholasticate, and so I would be most grateful if you would consent to investigate this matter. Should you oblige my request, I suggest you begin by speaking with Lebersoin. I am told he has spent the past few days looking into Ulla's activities prior to her departure, likely with intent to absolve Archimandum of suspicion. Okay. Is that on the pillars? Yep. More specific. In the middle somewhere, wow. To the last vigil, I guess. Right here. Should give us a large area to search here. There's somebody. And you? Yep. Well, that worked out nicely, didn't it? Found you. He's right behind me, isn't he? I'm right behind him, aren't I? Let me guess. You got wind of the rumors. I thought you would come in and investigate, yes? Yeah, pretty much. Well, I'll have you know that Archimandum is innocent. He has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with any of this nonsense. I've known him since childhood. While he might occasionally seem somewhat high-handed, maybe even callous, he would never do anything to harm anyone. If that is not enough, there's also the fact that in the days and weeks prior to Ulla's disappearance, I was not out of his company for more than a few moments. He could not possibly have committed the crime of which he is accused without my knowledge. Whoever orchestrated all of this clearly planned for the blame to fall squarely on his shoulders. That much is certain. Yet numerous are the enemies of House Zimmel are. I struggle to think who would resort to something so underhanded. Unless it was the girl herself, don't you see? What better way to besmirch the good name of one of Ishgard's foremost houses and win over your peers than to vanish and later spread rumors that he was somehow responsible, and then go and plant... That's to say, oh by the Fury, I pray I'm not making a mistake. But first, I would have you swear to tell none but the inspector what I'm about to reveal. Sounds like something was planted. Evidence? I could go for some evidence. I stumbled across this, volume 11 of the Articles of Hellenic Polity. It had been conspicuously placed in Archimandum's dormitory room, with Ulla's favorite bookmark tucked between its pages. I need hardly tell you what would happen if people were to learn of this. It has been a mercy that I chanced upon it, and not one more credulous. However, now that we have deduced who the perpetrator is, should be simple enough to restore Akhenaten's reputation. What we need to do is prove she and her revolutionary friends are responsible. Were I a braver and more foolish man, I'd march down to the broom and demand answers. But you, a hero blessed with the strength of 100, need not fear for your well-being there as I do. You are my only hope. Please, I beg of you, take the book, use it to find the girl, and prove these foul rumors false. Alright. We'll go with that story for now, I suppose. Or we'll go up this way first. It's also fine. Volume 11, Articles of Hellenic Polity. Okay. Let's see what we can make of this. See if Briardian's got any information for us either. He was the one looking for the book. We just got it given to us, literally. I think you are returned. Please tell me your inquiries have been more fruitful than my own. Yes. That book we're looking for? Volume 11 of the Articles of Hellenic Polity? The infamous tome of parables on equality, said to have mysteriously vanished off the library shelves shortly prior to Ola's equally inexplicable disappearance. It's the missing volume. However, did you find it? Literally got it given to me. So, there's someone believes that Ola's one of her revolutionary friends planted it in Archimand's room as part of an elaborate scheme to defame House Zemel. I continue to be amazed by what ridiculous conspiracies these children can conceive themselves are true. As if the future of Ishgardian society shall be shaped by the actions of a few ambitious seminarians. Anyway, I will allow that she may have been consorting with others who support Reformation, and were she persuaded to engage in rebellious acts, the dormitory prefect would have been an ideal target. Alternatively, our man was so arrogant and careless that he thought nothing of leaving incriminating evidence in plain sight. He would hardly be the first. Needless to say, speculation will avail us not at this juncture. First, I must see what I can learn from this book. In the meantime, I would have you go and speak with the people of the Broom. See what they know, if anything, about Ola, where she might have gone, whom she might have visited, and so forth. Failing that, keep your ears open for news of unusual happenings. One can never be too well informed. People of the Broom. Jump this way, jump down in there. Frequently, not too forthcoming of information, which makes a lot of sense. Sundry Splendors. Rowena, representative. Every weapon piece secured helpful can be purchased in exchange for elegant tomestones. Some tokens to be gathered in a simple, convenient location to go on to browse the merchandise. Okay. And all this stuff. Magical rating DPS. Subcategory. All these levels. Considering gear, high level 270 and 275. Let's take manifestos and stuff. Here we got tomestone stuff. 280 for a 270 weapon. Acquiring level 60. These are like terrible. We got a 133 weapon. We have a bunch of these tomestones too. I have 991. Yeah, could. And then Black Mage. Forget. How much better would that be? This is armor. And weapons. 200 thaumaturges around here. That's 600. We have 900. So we'll really purchase one here. I don't know if we want to make that choice just yet. Anyways, that's there. Or currently is there, whatever. Just had all the different parts, which is pretty good. Not about to ask me to do you a favor, are you? You forgive me for being suspicious, but just the other day, a man draped from head to toe in fine silks approached me, all nervous and twitching. Just a purse at my feet, saying the gill in it was mine for the taking. All I had to do was head to the crow's ear and buy him a couple vials of cough syrup. Tempting as it was, I wasn't about to risk getting involved in someone's shady schemes, so I told him to piss off, and that was that. Shady schemes. Always a good time. The broom. There's Ben. Leave me be. I've got nothing to say to likes of you. Eh? What's that? You know, I might have helped kidnap some highborn girl? God's sakes. You and Themyscira make a fine pair. You do, acting all high and mighty, pretending you care. Well, the only time you come around is when you're looking for someone to blame. Sorry to disappoint you, but I've got nothing to do with this Hula's disappearance. If you ask me, you have better luck harassing those blue bloods in the pillars. After all, they know better than anyone how to deal with inconveniences, eh? The last one is up in here. Ha 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 ha. Also see if Tataru's heard anything around here, perhaps. Is that what it's about? Yeah. Hey, Tataru. I still recall telling you once that my patrons appreciate their privacy, so I know you wouldn't ask if it weren't important, so this time I'll oblige your curiosity. This hasn't got anything to do with your missing girl, mind, but a few days back, this one fellow comes and pays his tab in full. A surprising development, as I'd long since written it off as a loss. Came into money, he says, has a mind to settle his debts. Pleased as I am by his changing fortunes, all the while I'm wondering who he left bleeding in an alley to get that much gil at once. Quite disconcerting. Guardian, back this way. So somebody did something, which may or may not be connected to something else. That definitely narrows it down, doesn't it? Okay. Hum 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 hum. Excellent timing, I take. I have findings to share. Fantastic. While Ola's bookmarks suggest that Volume 11 was within her possession at some point, it does not tell us when that point may have been. With this in mind, I decided to pay a visit to the seminary library. Sure enough, her signature was in the logs, indicating that she was the last person to have borrowed the tome, read the handwriting to samples from her old assignments, and to be sure, and found no irregularities. One might argue that this supports Ursua's theory, but is far from conclusive evidence. Suppose he cannot use those vaunted powers of yours to grant us a vision of the past and spare us future hardships? No. I thought not. We shall rely on the more traditional methods. So what came of your inquiries in the broom? Do tell. Somebody did something and got some money for it. Nothing? That's to be expected, is it not? Again, I'm reminded how ridiculous the two scenarios presented to us purporting grand conspiracies truly are. Is it not more likely that both the girl and Ben are innocent of wrongdoing? We must continue searching for more clues. Even the most insignificant tidbit may be all it takes for the pieces of this puzzle to fall into place. Insignificant tidbits, woo! A familial resemblance. Ernie is eager to continue his investigation. Investigate it. Seeing how reluctant some of the citizens were to answer your questions, I believe it's best for me to take our investigations in the broom. As for you, yes, I am given to understand that Blaze and her friends have been conducting their own investigation. Though I am loath to admit it, given the fact that they are seminarians, I should not be surprised if they have noticed something we overlooked. You may as well go and see what Blaze has learned. If you cannot find her at the Scholastica, I imagine someone can point you in the right direction. Any information would be helpful. Anything at all. I'm really grasping at straws here. We have conspiracy theories, and that's about it. That's a question I too would like to know the answer to. This is that we haven't spoken in ages. I did, however, overhear some of the other seminarians say that they saw Thimicet at the Ark of the Venerable, so if he's certain to be close by. Okay. Oh, what with them both working to bring Ola back, Thimicet and Placy have been good reason to spend a great deal of time together. These past few days, they've been running around the city making inquiries. You'd be surprised if that's what they're up to currently, too. Standing on the table. Hasn't she been following Thimicet around like a lost puppy this past fortnight? Find him, and he'll probably find her. That's what I say. I don't know how he puts up with it, frankly. So is that, unlike some of the seniors, he's simply too kind for his own good. I see. Haven't seen her all day. I expect she's gone out again with her friends to look for Ola. Just don't understand why they bother. Girl's probably off gallivanting about with the heretics and revolutionaries. Even if they find her, I doubt she'll want to return. Yeah, of course, I don't know where she is. While I may be in charge of the dormitory, it's not my responsibility to hold the seminarians' hands or wipe their arses. As you should well know, in light of recent events, our man has not the luxury to concern himself with such trivialities. Yep. Go find them! They're on the pillar somewhere. So we just run straight towards them again. They're right there, apparently. Nailed it. And seeing Themacet? He's over there. Just hanging out, watching from a distance. Hey, how's it going? Ah! You startled me. I'm here for Ola's sake, lest you wonder. This is all part of my investigation, I swear. Mm-hmm. Wait, you're not a seminarian. You seem so familiar. I know. You're my brother's associate. Indeed. By brother, you mean... My apologies, Master Arctic. I suppose we have yet to be properly introduced. I'm Plazy, Raridan's younger sister. Pleasure to finally meet you. Indeed. So he's sent you to see what I've learned. I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. Spent all morning questioning merchants, watchmen, and random passers-by. And they told me absolutely nothing of interest. I recorded their statements for good measure, but quite honestly, it was a waste of ink and paper. I see. What are you doing here? Everybody else? Theo, I fancy meeting you here. Just take a moment to review these testimonies I'd taken and thought to, but of course, you then thought to come and share your findings with us. Right? Yes, that's it. Well, it might be a little bit much. I wanted to make sure I did not omit a single word. There you go. By the Fury, I see this is over 100 volumes long. Can't even begin to imagine the amount of effort to organize all this information. It's incredibly heartening to know that there are others as dedicated as us to seeing Ola returned. Now let's have a look, shall we? Reads the whole thing. It's nothing. Investigation log entry 1. Master of Ishigari Markets, Mistress NSA, problems. Well, with the recent run of bad weather, we've had plenty. Why, just the other day, my back started to give me trouble again, and I've had to hobble from place to place. Investigation log entry 2. House Fortemps, Stewart, Honoright. Cannot guarantee that this is news will be great interest to you and yours, but a 12-point proposal for the reformation of the Inquisition has recently been tabled by Lord Artorial and the House of Lords. Hmm. Investigation log, entry 10, weaponsmith, Albert. Ever since the Blue Bastard and his lapdog put an end to the war, profits have plummeted. I had to sell my best stock for a fraction of its worth just to make ends meet. Boy, profiteering, yeah. Investigation log, entry 21. Carvery, Mercenaries. I barely had enough time to fill my customers' orders, much less keep an eye out for foolish... God damn it, Theo, that's enough. None of that rubbish is even remotely relevant. Now, don't you think you're being a touch too hasty? We've not gotten even a third of the way through. We may yet learn something of value. Let's not dismiss his hard work out of hand. Thank you, Theo, for your kind words. I'm glad you think it may be of use. Fine. Let's briefly entertain the thought and say that something in these notes will help us find Ola. How exactly to propose that we determine what it is. Lele, we don't need to do a thing. For though we may lack the skill to discern the relevant from the mundane, certain inspector we know and love is a dab hand at such things, no? That could work. But of course, Inspector Briardian. Brilliant idea. Comprends? Artic, if you would take this scroll to him and see what he can make of it. Sure. I doubt even he could make heads or tails of this rubbish. In any event, it's out of our hands. We should continue with our search. Alright. It's something. That way. Okay. Quickly deliver this super important information. There's at least 60 mostly mundane interviews. We meet again. Doubtless you have much to share. I know I do. Do you recall Gamelon's patron who recently paid off his debts and the gentleman attempted to obtain cough syrups? Upon further investigation, turns out they share one astoundingly similar facial feature, a pale raised scar running from the top of their left cheekbone to their jaw. So the description also matches that of a notorious thug who's known to be hanging around outside taverns, harassing patrons for coin, till an unexpected windfall saw his fortunes vastly improve. He is now rumored to make a living as a traveling merchant, though where he goes and what he sells, none can say. She'll find out in due time. What of my discoveries? What have you learned? Blaze's notes. A scroll full of testimonies written in Blaze's meticulous hand, allowing any dubious activities shopkeepers and citizens of the Jeweled Crozier have recently witnessed. Enjoy. By the Fury, this is longer than some scripture, and she compiled it all in less than a single day, you say. Remarkable. Indeed. Investigating log entry 1, Investigating Marcus, Visiting problems, which is back days, trouble, had to hobble from place to place. On the other hand, the Crozier is seeing increased trading in oils, furs, and other goods. Folks into crave when it grows cold, so in that regard I can't complain. It's in log 13. Purveyor of sundries. The other day there was this one fellow who wanted to purchase robes for a young woman. A merchant, he said. I've never known one who couldn't be bothered to haggle. Not that I minded, of course. It's in log 21. Probably my son. But enough time to fill my customers' orders, so I just keep an eye out for foolish girls getting themselves into trouble. Now, if you excuse me, I really must begin back to it. I'm expecting several regular customers any minute. It's in log 47. Apothecary Peen. Miss Knox has bought my whole stock of cough syrup every day for the past week. Passing strange, needless to say. So I followed him and found that he was reselling my products to another. The nerve of some people, I tell you. A gentleman procuring cough medicines through a third party. That story has a familiar ring to it, does it not? A man with a questionable past, recently come into wealth and playing at being a merchant, who so happens to travel with a young girl prone to fits of coughing. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I take? Maybe? Close eye on Mr. Please. There's someone involved. Medicine's key. This payment must watch. I don't like the cut of Medicine's jib. They're just there. They have medicine. But it's going through multiple parties. But if we just follow the medicine, that'd be the easiest path. Because it might be cut off at this point. Perhaps not. Since the medicine appears to be colluding with our man, time you may come to understand how he reached this conclusion. First, we must pay a visit to his stall. It's assuming he still is getting it and hasn't been cut off at this point. Close. Deductive. And all that. We'll see if we can track them down. Figure out what is happening. Solve this part of the mystery. Next time. Goodbye.